There's your Christmas gift right there. As a matter of fact, coming up at Thanksgiving, I'm planning on bringing up politics and religion just so I can save on Christmas gifts. So there you're going to find it. CharLee Simons Do Not Talk. Let's talk about politics and religion. Nice big old 15-ounce mug. I got big hands, and look at that. All four of my fingers fit in in that handle like big mugs, and I cannot lie. Them other brothers can't deny. Of course, it's red. So find your own at charliesimons.com. I have hats there too, like for example, this one. Yep. Just got back from San Diego a little bit ago and picked up this nice little whatever problem is in my throat and my lungs and coughing everything up. That's what I get for going to Southern California. I'm a NorCal guy, but I was there for the California Governor Showdown. Kim Yater put that on. Take Our Power Back. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. It was fantastic. I'm glad I was there, especially for such a huge thing, huge undertaking, and hundreds of people there in the audience. And it was all the conservative candidates, except one main one that everybody's talking about. He was a no-show. Talking about Chad Bianco. No-show Bianco. And they even moved the dates of the showdown, the debate, to accommodate Bianco. And he still, when it came down to it, goes, yeah, no. Whatever. We had a great time. We all did. And there were some real front runners came out in people's minds. And one of the common things I heard from a lot of the conservatives who were there at that event in San Marcos, actually, at the Awaken Church, a lot of what I heard from the people were, I didn't even know about these other people. I know what I keep trying to tell you. The media is ignoring them. So watch my show. You'll see them there. I've been putting them on for about half a year now. When my own Republican Party's telling me, Charlie, shut up. Don't be talking to these gubernatorial candidates. Why, California GOP? Why? You want me to sit back and let you decide who's best? And shut up. That's my job. That's the media's job. It's to present to you these people. And someone I've had on more than once is Louis Herms. As a matter of fact, I first met Louis, finally got to shake his hand after already having him on at this thing, Rev 17. If you haven't read Revelation 17, maybe set some time aside and do that today. It'll only take you about 5 minutes. Spells out perfectly what the Lord has planned for us, though, and what's coming. So get right with the Lord. Above all else, get right with the Lord. And actually get involved. Ephesians 5:11, be no part of the works of darkness, but instead even expose them. That's what I'm doing with Louis Herms, and I've invited into the mix one of my faves, Sam Anthony from yournews.com, where he features my shows on there, and I'm just pleased to be part of the whole dang group, yournews.com. I think he's got hundreds of contributors there now. People like me who worked in mainstream media, broadcasting, journalism all our lives, suddenly find ourselves without gigs because big corporate media is taking over everything. And guess what people are sick of? Big corporate media. Unfortunately, though, there's about half the population of the United States of America still watching big corporate media and thinking they're actually seeing what's really going on there. Sick. Louis Herms has a website called Screw Big Gov. That's the actual website, Screw Big Gov. And they put together a compilation of, and I thought it was a fantastic compilation of Steve Hilton, who, according to the California GOP, he's the one. Depends on who you talk to, though. Steve Hilton, Chad Bianco, going back and forth, but they're all, because they got the money. They got the money. And that's what the California GOP seems to be exclusively interested in. They don't want to talk to grassroots candidates. So Louis put together a compilation of questions from someone who I have a huge crush on, Laura Logan, and his answers compared to Steve Hilton's answers. And it was such a fine example of hype versus actual solutions. Let's check out a little bit of it.
I'd like to start with the elephant in the room, which is what is wrong with the GOP in the state of California?
Oh, boy.
All right, I'm going to stand up. I want to bring some energy into this room. I'll tell you what is wrong with the Republican Party in California. We are not winning. We need to win in California. I'm tired of being told that
Steve.
you have to put up with it or leave this state. Why should we leave? We're not the ones that did this to our beautiful state. They need to leave. The corrupt, rotten regime in Sacramento, the establishment in Sacramento, and for too long, the Republican Party's been propping it up. We need to fight back. What did President Trump teach us? Fight, fight, fight. That's how we take our state back. We've got to fight the corrupt elite. We've got to fight for working people in California, small business in California, fight for freedom and opportunity. My family left communism in Hungary. I came here with my wife and 2 children not to have the flame of freedom extinguished here in California by this corrupt, rotten regime.
Lewis sitting right behind
we are going to
Steve.
fight, and we are going to win.
Okay, let's hear Steve.
Over to Lewis Herms. Just to remind you, the question is, what is wrong with the GOP in the state of California?
Thank you, Laura. Well, first, this won't be popular, but it's a captured operation in California. That's the truth. The reality is they spend more time trying to put a rhino, Republican in name only, in office.
Yep.
The primaries are the most important, and they focus on getting a rhino because they know the Democrats there, it's 2 sides of one coin. It's a game. The primaries are the most important. The California GOP focuses everything where? They tell you to focus on the general election, don't they?
Yep.
Elections are won and lost in the primary.
That's
California
right.
GOP, in my opinion, is a captured operation. They'll support 5 people while they're raising money for them, and at the last second, they'll throw it all into who I believe they have compromised.
Right.
I don't need my full time for that.
I love that. I don't need my full time for that. That's brilliant. He's absolutely right. And he's standing by right now, so let's talk to him directly. Sam Anthony and Lewis Herms. Oh, by the way, get yourself a mug at charleesimons.com, charleesimons.com, or one of those hats or something like that. We did charleesimons.com. I forgot to finish my commercial. I got wrapped up in being all excited about who I have on this show. Right now, hit it. I'll fix it all in post. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Good to see you, Charlie.
Fantastic.
Here comes Santa Claus. That was extraordinary, Lewis, on stage. You nailed it. And that's what I've been saying for so long now. And people are like, what? Huh? No, And they're still giving money to the California GOP. Don't give them a dime. Don't give them a dime. They seem to be bought and paid for. And they're run by a whole group of executives who seem to enjoy being in second place. My only theory is it must be because it's easier to fundraise that way. You don't have to really do much. Just sit back and go, give us money to fight Pelosi. Give us money to fight Weiner. Give us money to fight Newsom. It's easy. It's simple, isn't it, Lewis?
Yeah, it seems very controlled to me. I don't just shoot from the hip. I generally investigate. And I've talked to a lot of Republican candidates that really, they looked like they had We the People behind them. And then next thing you know, they were kicked to the curb, not just in California, but in other states as well at the last second. And it seems very intentional, because what happens is you build enough momentum and help raise money for the California GOP. You're getting that momentum, and then right when you need them the most, they pull the rug from under you, and you don't have enough time to recalibrate. So I recognized that right off the top, and I said, I can't play this game, and I will not play the game.
I don't know about out there in Florida where you are, Sam, but here in California, we have central committees, GOP, Republican central committees, who are pulling that crap. We'll have a grassroots candidate. Everybody's behind. Everybody's loving them. Everybody's supporting. And then all of a sudden they throw some kind of nice, shiny rhino into the race at the last minute. And everybody's like, boom. And they'll vote with whatever the party tells them to vote for. It's been so frustrating. Is it like that in Florida? Do you have those central committees?
That I'm not aware of, but I would think in today's world with the internet, the internet has transformed everything. You would think, with decentralization, the internet is the ultimate in decentralization. Lewis, isn't there a way to bypass it all and just leverage the internet to build your brand and your name and your messaging?
Yes and no, because it depends. So, for example, the Southern Poverty Law Center, I'm sure you're both familiar with, they have a $500 million bank account, and they play games on getting you deplatformed, shadow banned on the internet. And I'm literally their number one target in California. I have been for about 4 years. So that's a big bankroll in order to go after people like me. And sure enough, I've lost my X account. I've lost 7 TikTok accounts, YouTube accounts. And so I actually hired somebody that had more of a forensic background looking into this stuff. And they were blown away when they look into the back of my name or ScrewBigGov or anything related to me. There's a whole bunch of tags, like weird tags, like racist, anti-Semitic. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, things that I don't even associate with, which is the game that they play. And then there's a whole group that automatically, when something is posted, they put it up against a fact checker, or they put it in community notes. So there's an apparatus out there that still is suppressing free speech on social media. I actually talked to X about this, and I should be getting approximately 6 to 7 times more views than I'm actually getting, but they say that currently there's nothing they can do about it. But their new algorithm that should be finished by next week, it may help us out a lot. So I'm crossing my fingers on that one.
That's amazing.
I've been saying for a while that we need to come together and actually start our own community, start startups. And that's why I wanted you to meet Sam Anthony. He's done that at yournews.com. And he's looking for people to be contributors. And that includes you. You put out a lot of content. You could get on your
and I like Sam's site too. So I think you're exactly right. That's the way we're going to get around it. Is, in fact, by the way, that was the genesis of ScrewBigGov.com. All my videos were being taken down all over the place, so I ended up putting them on my own website, creating that. I created Freedom in Action site during COVID because there's a lot of videos that were being banned during COVID, so we have a lot of content on there. So I admire what Sam's doing, and absolutely, that's exactly what we need to do, because I don't know if it's ever going to be cleaned up. To me, it's a direct attack on the First Amendment, and that's the way we should be approaching it.
Agree. And President Trump is now suing the BBC for $1 billion because of what they just did recently, doctoring up his speech before the whole January 6th crowd and that debacle. $1 billion.
That's a crazy. Listen, I do have a question. So what is it called? The law center there in California?
The Southern Poverty Law Center. It's all over. I think they're actually based out of New York or DC.
So they have the ability to get you turned off on like X or Facebook. They can actually get accounts shut off.
So what they do is the deep state is very smart. So what they do is they put on their website the people that they consider are hateful, conspiracy theorists, whatever. So it devalues them. Now, so they don't personally do this, and they're very smart. Just like Soros, there's always a couple mechanisms between them and the source that's doing this. So what happens though is people that are actually getting paid and people that are doing it on their own go to the website constantly and say, who should we be attacking on the web? So it's a dog whistle, I believe, is what the Southern Poverty Law Center has done. I've had many people come to me and ask me to be the head of a class action lawsuit against them. It's just a time thing for me right now. So I'm not playing in that realm. I'm running for governor. I have a lot of other things to do, although that may be part of the gubernatorial run also, because it is a direct attack on our free speech.
Yeah, no question about it. But I didn't know somebody had that kind of power. So
they do. Here's what they do, and it's been done to me. Is all you got to do is you get on that list, and then no matter they're watching, anytime you post anything, you're already on their list, and all they have to do is go on there and complain, or hit that report button. report. This is this guy's this and that says bad things. Well, that has scores against you on that social media platform. And also a lot of them, it's algorithms now, and they'll just go, okay, well, poof, delete it, pull it off there. That's what happened to me with Facebook. Had all my pages deleted 4 months ago, and Instagram as well, which is owned by Facebook. But it's all it takes is like one person to report you for something that they deem that goes against community standards.
And you should be reporting all of them.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd be
it's
doing
tough.
that all day. Yeah.
I'll tell you another manipulation that they do, which is they're famous for. So the algorithms pick up on what percentage of likes that you have, but they pick on it right when your video starts going up. So right when my videos get online, even though I have an average of 99% likes, I'll get all the thumbs down will be right at the beginning. So it could be like 5 thumbs down to 0 likes because they're on the notifications, right? And then that messes with the algorithm. So if you ever, since you're in this business, if you want to talk offline, Sam, we've investigated this really deep, and I can go into very deep on this so you know what to be aware of. You may be going through the same thing and may not even know it in regards to your website.
May not even realize it, right?
I don't even have any social media, so to me, it's like that. But don't forget, I have content creators. They post stuff. It could be the high school football game.
That's right.
But anything, they could put you on a list too. So anything that comes from yournews.com they now got your IRL, and they'll just automatically start. It's incestuous. It's horrible. It's cancerous, for heaven's sake. But you got a lot of people who the Southern Poverty Law Center is a nonprofit. So they've got just these ridiculous donors who want to see the American way of life come down. No greater way to bring in your new world order, your one world government, than taking out the United States of America. Suppress free speech, suppress a way for us to actually answer back. And you own the hearts and minds of they don't need everybody on their side, just the majority, don't they?
Yeah, well, remember that the first week after Obama was out of office, he had a whole floor with 300 people that specifically went on the internet to troll conservatives.
Really?
And that was up and running within a week with him being out of office.
Think
So they
about
have an apparatus, and that's probably Soros funded, I would guess, right? But I don't have the evidence on that.
It's probably U.S. taxpayer funded that funnels through.
Yeah,
Soros.
so true. That's absolutely great point. Great point.
He didn't pay for anything. He just took the vig.
Yeah. Good point.
And Governor Newsom's former chief of staff just got busted for manipulating and playing with campaign funds like that. And it's all rolling downhill, man, or I should say uphill. Newsom's so dirty. If he runs for president in 2028, I will be stunned at this point. But again, they don't have to win the hearts and minds of us, just the majority of the people. And they got those people are still relying on the media, the mainstream media, to get all of the information. Now, how do we get our conservatives, our fellow conservatives, to actually get away from YouTube, get away from NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, and all those, CNN, even Fox News? How do we get them to actually engage that way? They don't seem willing to, or even have the desire.
Yeah, they do. So first of all,
You think so? We can't even get people to follow Rumble channels.
Yeah, but you're talking about I told you this, the average age of cable news viewers is 72 or 3 years old. I mean, so those people are set in their ways. They really don't care about the internet. And, that's just where they're going to get their information. But over the next 4 or 5 years, what does the average person live to? Right. So, I mean, it's a dying entity. So at some point in time, everything is moving to platforms. It's not a secret. Everybody knows it. So they're all, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble. It's the platforms where everybody is, and that's where all the money's going. So but
how many times you've been deleted off of TikTok? You mentioned TikTok. How about you?
I've never been deleted on anything because I don't have an account at any of them.
No, Louis, how many times have you had your TikTok taken away?
Not me.
Seven times. Sam's a lot smarter than me. I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess.
Yeah,
Well,
but you have to, because it is free advertising. The media's not
exactly.
reporting on what you're doing. You can't afford to buy ads on all the media outlets, which is the only way you get any kind of presence there now. So
If
we
they'll
got
even play them, though.
comedian.
We've had people try to submit ads and they turn them down. So the media is so corrupt. The reality is I think it's 65%, maybe up to 70% of the media dollars come right directly from big pharma. So if you're on the anti-big pharma list, good luck getting on any media.
Yeah, good point. How about that,
And
Sam?
by the way, why is Big Pharma advertising there? It's because everybody is the older crowd, and that's the market.
Exactly
I
right.
think that's one reason. The other reason is they're trying to cover their ass. They know that big network is not going to turn on pharma with really bad news if pharma is 90% of the money they're bringing in.
True. Yeah. No, Louis, you know what you need to do? Do you have somebody doing press releases for you?
Yeah, I just moved to somebody else, but yes, starting next week, we're going to do a bunch of them.
All right. So what you can do is start submitting content to us, and it's basically an open forum. We'll run it statewide in politics. So you get your message out, whether it's audio, video, or print, doesn't matter.
Excellent. I'll do
it.
it.
And then share it on your social media pages, and that stuff will go viral. So
All
you
right,
could bypass them and leverage our platform for distribution. That's how you do it.
All right. We're all on it.
Okay. Cool. Go
Louis,
ahead, Charlie.
what has been your take it away from that California governor showdown? Everybody's coming to me. Oh, you think there was a winner? Who was the winner? And I said the biggest winners were the ones that nobody had heard of yet. Everybody on stage who no one had heard of, those were the biggest winners. But basic consensus was you were strong. You were strong, and you got some friction on. Everybody was talking about Louis Herms after that. Daniel Mercury also, I think his star power raised up quite a bit with that whole encounter. And both of you guys are very similar to each other in that you call them out. You don't pull any punches. And when I talk about them, not just the left, but also those in the California Republican Party who seem to be all on board with just whoever has the most money, that's who we're going to get behind.
Yep.
What's been your frustration with all of that?
Well, let me talk about my inspiration first. I was inspired that I got to meet some candidates that are actually nice people. There's some good people that I believe they have California's best interest in mind, which I thought was phenomenal. That was very exciting for me. I may have slight policy differences. I want them to spend more time on fixing child trafficking, election fraud, and definitely our health and food systems. But that being said, I believe there's about 4 or 5 that actually are there for the right reasons. That was inspiring. Now, what I took away, which was frustrating, is there's definitely deep state assets inside this race. There's no two ways about it. And I'm not going to cower to those assets whatsoever. But it's very clear that the GOP is not interested in. I'll take myself away from it. They're not interested in a common sense voice like Mercury or Serpa or Kobe or Brian Tillman. There's a lot of common sense that's there that they flat out are ignoring, and it's on purpose because they're not controllable. And if you're not controllable, they're not interested in working with you. So that's my biggest frustration is really confirming what I already knew. You know how sometimes you go into something, you go, I hope I'm not right. This is not one of those times.
Sam, you know how people basically read the headline and then they move on, and the media knows that. So they get their message across by deceptive headlines. Louis is encountering that. They don't want to talk about substantive issues. One of the things that he's big on, as am I, and that is the absolute abolishment of child sex trafficking, making that end yesterday. We're both in full agreement on that, but that's not That's not a headline grabber, is it? Steve Hilton's hitting all the high points with the "I'll bring your gasoline down to $2 a gallon." Well, that's easy. All you have to do is just kill all the taxes. We have the highest tax on fuel in the nation. And so you just end that. But the governor doesn't have that kind of power. Nobody asks him that. How are you going to do that? How do you make that happen? The governor doesn't have all that power. You got a legislature you got to work through. But also we've got, I mean, he hits all the hot points. He hits all the grabbers, the things that get people's attention that everybody's talking about. But that's a given. Of course, Lewis Herms, Ryan Tillman, these other people that he mentioned are all interested in all those things and wanted to make that happen. But the reality of it is there's so much more complexities to it. But Sam, I think will probably tell you, Lewis, the reading public and the watching public, for the most part, they want nice, shiny headlines, don't they?
Well, I'm sure they do. I mean, you get a lot of people that get their stuff on TikTok, right? You know, they just do quick hits and then they leave, right? And so, you know, that is the world we live in today. You know, honestly, the legacy media is not going to help Lewis in any way, shape, or form because you're not part of the establishment. So they're there just to make sure you don't exist and to give you as little press as possible or negative. And this is where, you know, I'm just going to tell you something, Lewis. You know, since we've spoke, I mean, you know, I have over 5,400 news reporters right now across the United States. So, and by the way, New York and California and Chicago are the three biggest markets, right? That's where it is. So California, between New York and California, last month we had 1.2 million unique visitors come to the site. And it's all because the content creators are driving traffic to their own stuff. Doesn't matter if it's in North Carolina or in San Diego, it's irrelevant. So as we keep expanding and growing, this whole thing is going to end up replacing that legacy media. That's the platform thing, all independent news reporting. So I know that this is aggravating to go through. I mean, I get it. You know, I mean, you're experiencing the crap, but all this stuff's going to eventually come to an end. What we've got to do is figure out how to speed up the process.
I agree. I agree. And that the key would actually be all the candidates get on the same page. And people are going to say, Lewis, you say things like this and it's going to be a detriment to your campaign. But I care about we the people. So I'm going to say this. If you'd like, Sam, I can get a hold of all the other candidates and I could recommend that we all post our stuff on your website and get the reporters to engage with us and interview us and put our videos up, because that, if all of us are messaging the same thing about a site like yours, I think that's going to help expedite the future for everybody. And I know that may be counterintuitive if I'm trying to win the race, but you know what? That's the best thing for we the people.
Well, you're exactly correct. I mean, the people need to see all the content and be able to decide. But if you're not able to push it out there, how in the hell are they going to know?
That's right. So, there's a total media blackout. I'll tell you what's interesting. This will kind of answer your question, CharLee. Why did I do this video of Hilton versus Herms? Well, before this debate, Hilton, no matter where he went, there would be major news media picking up that Hilton's here, Hilton's doing this, Hilton said this. But yet, when he has a debate, where I don't think he did very well, and in my opinion, it's crickets throughout the whole news media. Absolute crickets.
There's no way he wants to shine any light on you all.
No, so we are completely ghosted in regards to that. I actually think my video is going to end up going viral. I've not even requested certain people that I know help put me over 3 million views on another video before. I've not even asked for their help yet. We're strategically playing this right now. But I think it's going to be a big deal. And Sam, I'm all on board with you. You and I can talk offline. I think there's a lot of good things that can be done there.
I noticed a big push with the two front runners that we've talked about incessantly is to run against Gavin Newsom. Well, Gavin Newsom's not running again.
I know.
So right now we got to narrow it down to one candidate, because come primary next summer, we need to have somebody that's like, okay, this is it. We can all agree on this, and we're going to vote for him or her. That's it. Otherwise, with this jungle election, jungle primary crap in California, we're going to have 2 Democrats. And have you seen Katie Porter? That's the front runner for the Democrat Party.
Yeah, that's a blessing, actually.
Well,
We have a strong bench. We really do. Every single person running on the right side of things for governor are strong.
Can
And
you guys tell me?
wish we could all hold different positions of power in the California election and actually turn this state around in one election would be extraordinary. But we got to show up, and our own Republicans don't even show up for primaries and midterms. So get registered to vote. Half the Christians aren't even registered to vote. 40% at least who claim to be Christian aren't even registered to vote. Register to vote.ca.gov. Register to vote.ca.gov. Get registered and then actually do it.
Well, when was the last Republican governor in California? Anybody know that?
Arnold.
So what was that?
Screw
20 years ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the recall that's going back to 2003, wasn't it, Lewis? 2003, 2004, with the recall to get rid of Gray Davis, who called a human Q-tip. And I voted for Tom McClintock to take his place, but apparently I was one of only 14, maybe 15. Everything was all shiny. California's all about shiny. Arnold Schwarzenegger is our governor. Yes, and that was it. And to defend him, by the way, he actually tried. He had some great ideas. Of course, he stole them from Scott Walker in Wisconsin, but he had some great ideas and special elections. These same people who were lauding Governor Hairdo doing his $300 million, yes on 50, $300 million special election that we paid for. They were whining about special elections that Arnold Schwarzenegger was trying to get done to fix the ridiculous stronghold unions and contracts, retirements, pensions. They were unsustainable, and he was right. And now we're freaking broke. The state is broke. He had some good ideas, but Lewis, that was one dude. And the Republican Party didn't really back him, did they? They were the girly men he was talking about. So one man can't make those kind of monumental decisions without the people behind him and his own party behind him. And I watched them erode and destroy from below to where he didn't have a chance. His second term was basically, look at me, I'm pretty. He didn't do a lot except for, promote tourism for California. How can one man as governor, Lewis, make any kind of substantial change?
Well, if you have the people behind you and you're a good communicator constantly, I think we can do a lot. For example, one of the we're going to try to do on day one. We're going to do it on day one, but we're going to have to port it over. So we're working on a website called Exposure. So this is going to be exposure.ca.gov. So when you have lying, cheating. Sorry, I'm making a lane change here. Sorry about that. When you have lying, cheating politicians, which that's just about 95% of them, and when you have a judiciary, that's lying and cheating, and you have sheriffs not doing their job, we're going to post their name, their face, and their phone number on our website, so we the people can hold them accountable. And I don't mean with weapons. I'm talking about hold them accountable, make sure that we hold some special elections, make sure that they know that they're going to have people on their doorstep, hundreds at a time, protesting them constantly. So the other thing we can do is stop using our so-called advisors to write legislation for us that's 300-400 pages long, when you could write legislation in 2 to 5 pages. It can be done. And then you vote on the legislation. So exactly. So it's so clear that if somebody doesn't vote the proper way, say about fixing child trafficking, it's so clear that you can hold them accountable. Put them on exposure.ca.gov and say, look, this was so clear and they voted against this. What happens is when they make these bills so convoluted,
Anybody could vote yes or no. Half the time, we don't even know if they're voting for or against because of the way they put the language in these things. We have to understand, though, prior to the manipulation, the California Constitution was by far the strongest constitution in the whole United States because it gives the people an opportunity to vote on every issue that we want them to. The people. But we're under a captured operation and stolen elections right now, so they're not voting for what they think they're voting for.
Yeah, but if you have a .gov address, that means tax money is paying for that, and the governor doesn't get to write the checks. They can literally just starve it of funds because you would have still the supermajority, filling up those chambers, wouldn't you? Now, supermajority.
Well, then there you go, and then the question is, who is starving it of funds? And again, this is going to be built. Remember, before it goes to a .gov, so it will be mirrored on an open site. So it won't matter if turn it down. We'll have a big notice on it that said, look at what they refuse to have on here. Why are they hiding from this? Why do they not want this to be out? Now go to this website. Either way, it's a win for us. And this is how we're constantly going to play it, is no matter what they do, that's going to be a win for we the people. It's either going to be a disclosure or it's going to be a cover up that we're going to expose.
I love this. I heard you actually reveal this for the first time. I had been hearing it at that California Governor Showdown. The crowd went crazy.
You could do that no matter what.
They went crazy.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna create the site before we go into office.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just thinking you could have articles written about that. We could publish that stuff.
100%. 100%.
It makes it even worse when there's an actual story written about
it.
And
as the left knows, even if you get something published on an online publication, they could use that as, well, it was in print here, so it's got to be true.
Exactly.
Now we got a platform.
No, that's funny.
I love it. I love this. Synergistically working together. This is extraordinary. We can reclaim. We can take our California back. Of course, already
even if you're in there, how do you fix the debt? That's what I want to know.
It's a good question.
I mean, is there a way to crawl out of this? We don't hear you right now, unless you turn it off.
Sorry about that. It was cutting off. Say that again.
So even, let's say you get in, how do you fix the debt? The amount of money these people are spending is crazy. Yeah. And when you go to fix something, you could do something that makes complete logical common sense, but there's people on the inside that lose money off of it if you do it. So it's not about we the people, it's about you're hurting. It's kind of like Doge coming in and getting rid of the NGOs. Well, who did that hurt? It hurt all the people in Congress, right? They weren't on board with it.
Well, we're going to super Doge this. Here's the deal. We're already looking at, now it's hard to get the numbers without a FOIA with these people. We've been requesting them, right? But we have enough to know that we're minimum 50% of the budget is waste, fraud, and abuse, and it may be 70 or 80%. I know for sure the school bonds are. We have a full investigation that's already been at the AG's office for 8 months, 9 months, and they're totally ignoring it. And I have all the evidence on that. That's undisputable what they're doing with the school bonds. So assuming they're doing the same thing with the rest of the budget, which I'm sure they are, sorry, I'm navigating some stuff here. Here we go. Which I'm sure they are doing the same exact thing with the rest of the budget. What we're going to do is we are going to not only go in there and expose it all publicly, then we're going to take the remaining of the budget that we need, which is somewhere between 20 and 50% only, and we're going to put that online again for we the people to look at it in a line item so they can look at every expense. So for example, let's say we spent $400 on a chair. You can find that chair on Amazon for $14.99. They need to hold me accountable for that and said, Governor Herms, this is not what you said you'd be doing with our money. So that's a big deal that we're going to do. I think those two websites we just talked about are going to be highly, highly viewed websites and be very, very popular because I think people really want to know what we're doing with their money.
I want to see that spread all across the country. I hope other governors will start
Yeah.
doing the same thing.
Well, where California goes, the
I'm
rest of
more
the country will follow.
We can't even get, yeah, well, exactly. And we can't even get an answer as to how much money is being spent on that reconstruction wing of the Capitol building in Sacramento. That's a big controversy here. Nobody's talking about it, though. While they're all screaming about the nice, magnificent ballroom President Trump is turning in the East Wing into.
Yeah,
With
which
private
he got funded with private money too.
Exactly,
It's
but that's not public
amazing.
money, or that is public money going into this whatever Governor Hairdo is doing to the Capitol building.
Well, whatever it is, if it's California, you know it's going to cost 5 to 10 times what it normally should have cost because somebody has to make the money off of it.
Somebody gets paid off.
Union labor used, and there'll be all kinds of little skids here and graphs there and giveaways behind the back. It's talk about it. Forget Illinois. I think California is the most corrupt state in the nation right now. I really do.
But they're trying to beat them. I mean, Chicago's definitely trying.
Chicago's trying. Illinois is trying. Hang in there, Pritzker. You can do it. We have every faith in you.
Yeah, they just don't have as many people and as big a budget, but they're working.
Hey, Lewis, what do you say to this statement I'm about to make? The Chinese Communist Party owns and operates California now.
Yeah, absolutely. The proof was that when Newsom rolled out the red carpet for Xi in San Francisco and he cleaned up the place for a little bit. That's absolutely, it is what it is. I can tell you that we're working on saving people's properties in a land grab in Palisades right now. And I can tell you that we've gone down there, we've had investigators down there, and Chinese nationalists are crawling all over Palisades, actually measuring properties out so they can help steal these in the land grab.
It's all about that smart city thing, isn't it?
Well, at minimum, that's what they say, but at minimum, it's low-income housing. So what we've done is we have an affidavit that was written by my attorney, and it actually has language in there for the people of the Palisades, and it says, I am not leaving my property and abandoning it. I plan on coming back to it one day or selling it. Therefore, this is not an abandonment, something to that effect. And they put their lot number, proof of ownership, so on and so forth. Now, why is that important? Because then we take it and we get it notarized, and then we send that to the county. So now when they do a title search, this is on there. Why is it important? Because if they just take 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 7 properties, what you've done is you've made these huge Chinese nationalist corporations, they cannot build contiguously. So therefore they lose interest in the land. And this is the type of stuff we do. I've been doing this for years and years and years. I'm not waiting for anybody to tell us what to do. I'm not waiting to get into the governor's mansion. We work and make solutions right now.
This is sad. It's sad that the actual property owners have to do basically squatters' rights to try and keep their own property. Right. It's crazy.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Did they walk away from the property? I mean, why do they think they have the ability to take the?
Of course they did. But of course they walked away from the property because it's burned down to the ground. So they had to find another place to live. But because they're not. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So they did walk away from the property because they had no other place to live. Right. And oh, by the way, they won't let you put a tent on your property because they consider the property is environmentally unsafe. It's catch-22 after catch-22. So the people have to walk away from their property, but that doesn't mean it's forever. They live someplace else while they're trying to figure it out, because the environmental regulations are so strict on the cleanup of the properties. Some people can't even afford to clean their own property up based on what they're asking them to do.
Well,
it's
okay,
ludicrous.
You're gonna love this, Sam. Lewis, tell Sam about the Coastal Commission, which is not a government entity, by the way.
No, it's not. Don't even get me started. I had literally a fight with the Coastal Commission in Santa Barbara when I had a construction company a long time ago. And what they had
with the Coastal Commission had a subcommission which is called Green Right Commission, and had another one which was a Water Conserve Commission that were all connected to it, and you couldn't build anything even with common sense. Guys, I'm going to have to go. Unfortunately, we're jumping into a finance meeting here in a couple minutes, so I want to give you like 2 minutes out.
Give us the time. Where do we find you? How do we follow you and help you?
Just go to hermsforcali.com. Hermsforcali.com. The word for, thank you, FOR. And then make sure you go to the social media links there, and then you'll be able to find the video I'm talking about with Steve Hilton and I. And if you want to volunteer or donate, that's the place to do it also.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. Go get them, my friend.
Hey,
this whole same thing is happening, by the way, in Hawaii. I just had Melinda. Come on now. Melendez is her last name, and I'm thinking of the first right now. But anyway, on Maui, their coastal commission. This is why Governor Hairdo and the governor of Hawaii are talking. They're such buds. They're swapping ideas. The coastal commission they're not granting permits to rebuild the people who lost their homes in that Maui fire because they're too close to the ocean.
But they're allowing people to purchase the properties?
Apparently. Pennies on the dollar. It
doesn't make any sense unless they're just trying to steal the properties. So who gets the money when it gets sold?
That's it.
So was this anywhere near what is that called? Where does they film where Charlie Sheen was? What was that called? The 2.5 Men.
Oh, gotcha. That was Malibu.
Yeah. Malibu. Is it anywhere near Malibu?
No, this is Maui, one of the islands in Hawaii.
Oh, Maui. I thought you meant here. Okay.
No, not Malibu.
Palisades. Are Palisades near Malibu?
Palisades is, yes.
It's really close?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're now stealing these properties.
Oh, yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. So they're going to give they're going to create low-income housing with beautiful views to people who can't afford it. I mean, it just doesn't. Look, Florida has been going up in price here. I mean, and now that we have a communist in New York, now they're anticipating a big wave of people coming down here because they don't want to take more of their money. So they're going to come here and set up residencies. So it's really driving people out of Florida because you can't afford to live here anymore. I mean, when I moved here, they couldn't give this stuff away.
Right.
I bought a 3-bedroom condo on the Intercoastal for $83,000. That was it. And they were like, "Are you sure you want to live here? There's bugs." I'm like, "Yes." So, but today that same place is worth $600,000-700,000.
Yeah, that's cool. Not good for those who are actually from there though and wanted to.
You can't afford it.
You
can't afford it. So a lot of people are leaving Florida because of that.
Well, listen, I can't have a lot of sympathy for you Floridians because we Californians have been going through that for, I don't know, about 50, 60 years. Everybody wants to be in California, and we Californians can't even afford to buy a place where we live.
I'm thinking about moving to the Palisades. I'm waiting till they get it all dressed up, and it'll be $600 a month. I'm in.
There you go. I'm in. I'm Section 8. Where can I live in Malibu?
That's right.
Right here. Coastal property. Beautiful. All right, my friend. Thanks for helping out Louis Herms. I want to get you two together. If you don't have his contact information, I will send it to you. But I want, please, my fellow conservatives, stop relying on mainstream media for anything. Make this your go-to source for news. Make this your online newspaper, yournews.com. Yournews.com. You'll find me on there, but don't let that stop you. You'll also find, and he can hyper-local stuff, which is great. Like a story I just sent to him, the show I did with Marina Gable about the bad teacher threatening to kill her son as a joke. And he goes, well, is this going to be a local thing? Is it a California thing or a national thing? And I said, I think there's people all across the country who can relate to this. So he made it a national story. But you can hyper-local it. You can even report on, if you're a reporter, you can report on your high school football games. If you're a reader, you can actually see what the score was from Friday Night Lights. So it's all at yournews.com. And if you want to invest in this is your ground floor time to get involved. You'll also find that link down there. Or like me, broadcaster, podcaster, journalist, you want to still continue working, you can do it at yournews.com as well. All down at the bottom of the page, just go down there and you'll find those links. Anything else, Sam, I may have left out?
I don't think so. I think you covered everything. I mean, all the legacy media stuff, you're always going to have the people that don't really have an option continuing to watch. I mean, it's just but other people are turning to alternative news. So just like YouTube and Rumble, where you're an independent journalist, you decide, like nobody calls you on Rumble and tells you who you're going to talk to and what questions you have to ask. So it's called independent journalism, and either people like your show or they don't. It's going to work the same with news reporting. It's going to be platforms with independent news reporters where they're covering their own stories that they feel is important to the community, whether it's the high school football game or the city council meeting or the bank robbery, the car crash. All that stuff's going to be independent news reporting on platforms. And the interesting part is nobody does this but me. And we currently have the actual number, I looked it up, was 5,448 independent news reporters on the site, and expanding and growing daily. So as we keep expanding and growing, I mean, our reach was over 1 million people last month. So there's a direct correlation between how many content creators you have and how much traffic you get. So if you want to double your traffic, double your content creators. So we're building it, we're working it, but ultimately, as the legacy media falters, it'll be a hyper local news platform that replaces the legacy media. And, this is why we have to make sure the people control the press and not the institution. So this is why we're doing an equity crowdfund, specifically because this needs to be owned by we the people. So anybody interested in investing, there's a page you can go to, yournews.com. At the bottom it says invest. You can read about it, and you could spend $200 and everywhere in between. Knock on wood, we may get lucky here and the whole thing may be gobbled up by one particular angel investor over the next month or so. So let's see what happens.
As long as you're still running the show, though, Sam.
It's the only way I'm going to do it, because there's
Sam Walton's kids coming in like they did Walmart.
You don't have to worry about that. I've already learned there's nobody else capable of doing this but me. So it's either me or nothing. That's it.
Right. There you go. All right, my friend. Thank you so much for being part of the show. I appreciate you more than you know.
Yeah, good to talk to you again, Charlie. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I agree. It's always a pleasure to talk to me. I would love to also encourage you to get involved with my show by helping out financially as well. But you can do it and get a really nice thing out of it, like this 15-ounce big old coffee mug. Let's talk about politics and religion. And you can, as I mentioned earlier, you can get hats, you can get shirts, and my particular favorite hat on my website right now, Trump was right about everything. So you'll find it all at CharLeeSimons.com, CharLeeSimons.com, CharLeeSimons.com. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America, but most importantly, America bless God. Awesome. Thanks, Vin Dog. Good seeing you on here.